Yes. Yeah, hello dear viewers. Like I said, I have an interview today and with the executive producer, I think was the title from the Potemkin Studios, Randy Landers.
Good afternoon,
Yeah,
Tobias. It's evening there. I'm sorry. Good evening.
yeah, 9 p.m. So, Potemkin Studios, I think we should begin with the basic. What is Potemkin Studios?
Potemkin Studios is a series of fan films produced here in Pelham, Alabama. We use local and out-of-state cast members, and we tell Star Trek stories that we hope entertain, amuse, and otherwise are enjoyable to our viewers.
And you are
Um,
doing much of them. I have looked at your YouTube channel 47 if I am right now.
47, 47 as of today. It might
Yes,
be 48 next week and 49 the week thereafter.
my gosh, you guys are so productive, that's amazing.
Um, well, we only shoot one weekend a month, usually a Saturday. We
Mhm.
shoot from 9 to 5. Um, and then about 6 months to a year later, we come out with the short film that we have produced.
Yep.
Can't use the word episode or series anymore. You have to
Yeah, I
remember
know.
that. But we do have four different creative teams.
Four,
Uh,
that's much, I think. I don't know how the other fan film studios are doing, but four sounds like much.
it's a lot, but it's very entertaining too. We have Tristan, which is a delivery van in space, and they go around delivering things and
Mm.
running into difficulties. We have the Demos, which is a police ship of sorts. It
Mm.
goes around and looks to see who's breaking the Federation's laws
So
and
more
dealing
like
with
it sounds more like that Demos is more the standard Star Trek stuff where you can say the Enterprise is also flying there and policing and
absolutely.
yeah, and Tristan is then more like a Freightner, could you say?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
it's DHL in space. Um, but we also have Kupak, which is a Klingon ship,
Hmm,
and they go around and they're very honorable, but they do cause trouble. But they're very
of course.
honorable about it.
Of course, honorable
And
traveler.
we also have the Endeavor, which is more of a Twilight Zone feel to
Hmm.
it. Uh, it's going to be a very creepy show.
I think the Endeavor videos I didn't watch till now. That sounds
No,
interesting.
I'm actually been editing on it for about 3 weeks now. Now that
Whew,
it's
that's much.
yes, but it's and our short films are very short. They're also around 10 to 12 minutes in length, and
Mm,
therefore take less time to produce than say a 55-minute or
yeah,
75-minute.
that's of course. And what is exactly your role at all this stuff?
Um, Cheerleader, bottle washer, uh, gopher, um, editor, director,
Mm,
some special effects, writer, script editor,
sounds
and
like so.
occasionally I have to wear a black shirt and be a security guy.
Mm, it sounds like you are everywhere. Could you say?
I I I I have my hands full one
Mm,
Saturday a month, that's for sure.
yeah. And how does it begin? Uh, how does it start, Potemkin?
Um, I have produced prior to doing Potemkin from 1979 to 2013. We produced Orion Press fanzines.
Mm,
Orion Press sold lots of fanzines. We had lots of readers. There were Orion, Antares,
wow.
Iridani, all about Star Trek, of course.
Yeah.
And I saw this article on Paragon's Paragon and saw these people making Star Trek fan films, and I saw an episode of Starship Farragut.
Mm.
I saw an episode of Star Trek um, New Voyages.
And then you
I saw.
said, I want to do that.
I said, I can do that, and I did.
And it
Um,
was a great idea, I
it
think.
was. I thank you.
Yeah,
We
I
have
really like
I have
this.
a great time.
Yeah, and I think. And what was, or what is the moment, or in Potemkin, what damn, my English is. What are you the most proud of? What moment in Potemkin? Could
What
be.
I'm most proud of is the cast and the writing. I
Mm,
think I think our writing is some of the best science fiction.
yeah,
The,
I've
it,
seen it in the archive. Your newest film. It was really intense. Was so much stuff is going on, but in this amount of time, and it worked.
yeah, and the archive is a socially relevant episode, or sorry, short
Definitely.
film, because it refers to the seed banks that are in Norway and a few other countries,
Yeah, I think
and
you have used the image of one of them, or?
I did. I found a really common image
Mm.
everywhere on the World Wide Web, and I said, I hope they don't mind. And so and my apologies to the King of Norway and the Norwegian people if they're upset that I used their image, but it was perfect.
I think they could also think, oh, that's an honor. Star Trek is something which is globally liked, I think. So I think this shouldn't be a problem.
I hope not. I hope
Yeah,
not. Certainly done with love and honor and respect for the work that they're doing.
yeah, and it's a huge honor. It's most important because with all the global warming and so, who knows what comes in the future and when we can use that stuff or need that stuff, but it doesn't grow. Yeah,
Exactly. I
yeah,
hope we never have to use it, but
yeah, right.
we're one asteroid strike from having to use
Mm,
it.
yeah, right. And what was the best moment in the production?
For
Eh,
me, to be honest,
yeah.
it was watching when we were first filming The Void. I was having to be the boom operator, and so I'm lying on the deck in between, uh, well, kind of underneath a young lady's legs, and I'm holding the boom mic, and I'm watching our captain, played
Mm.
by Jeffrey Green, and Jeffrey Green is reading lines that I wrote
Oh.
in Void, and I looked up, and I just like, this is Star Trek, and it was just so thrilling to me to see my words
Mm.
being acted by a consummate actor. Um,
I think it's hard to not to smile and during the scene in this such a moment.
it was very moving for me, very touching.
Yeah.
I'm
And
honored that he was able to do such a
oh
great
yeah.
job with that episode. Uh,
Mm.
and that was an episode because it's been more.
Yeah. CBS, what are you doing in Paramount? And what
They
I.
settled.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so
We will
it's
see.
all it, it's all good, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so. And what are you looking forward in the future for Potemkin?
Well, I always look forward um, to the next episode
Mm.
and the next film, the next production.
Yeah.
We have one coming up on February 18th that we're going to shoot. It is a Klingon wedding
Hmm.
with the crew of the battlecruiser Kupak,
That sounds
and
interesting. There was that
so,
one episode on DS9 with Worf and Jetsia.
yes. Well, imagine if someone had interrupted the wedding.
Ooh.
Yes, and that's why I'm really looking forward to seeing what we do with this.
Yeah, that sounds really, really interesting. Definitely. I'm looking at my questions here. I have a full site with questions and think, okay, this how do we have, this doesn't we have, and first interview I made.
It's fine. You're doing
Yeah.
great.
That's nice. Yeah. we have. And, oh yeah, a much important question. If some of your fans have an idea for an episode, would you do it?
Believe it or not, we have probably shot 6 productions
Hmm.
out of 15 last year were written by fans of our show, not us, as far as the cast and crew goes.
Okay,
Um,
that's
and we're delighted to get those because a lot of times, like the episode of the film archive that you
mm,
mentioned, it definitely was written by it was a young man in the Canary Islands, Angel
ah,
Padilla, wrote that production, and we were just blessed to film this because it was just such a wonderful story, and we took it and we ran with it.
yeah, and I can think for the author of the script, it could be awesome too, because maybe he doesn't have the opportunity to do it or the people to do it, and you have, and I think it's a win-win situation.
The fans know the characters as well as I do, or as well as anyone does, and if they send in a story, um, we had a story not long ago where we produced a production,
Mm.
and a couple of the fans said, "No, she wouldn't have done that. That's not her. She wouldn't have done that." And I'm like, "Well, the actress wanted to do that. In fact, the actress had written it. It was Kristen Woods, and she had
Ah,
written.
was let me guess, was the room tour video?
It was room service.
Zoom
Yes,
service, right, right.
service
I've
was,
so laughed at that as I seen it.
and and that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's what Americans call a French comedy. It's a typical. It's almost like a Scooby Doo episode with
Mm,
people running from room to room looking for this and that and the other thing, and then suddenly at the end there's this great surprise.
a little bit like the Monty Python movies.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
we do those too.
Yeah, they are awesome. And if somebody want to support you with, I don't know, merchandise you can use or money or something, is there a way how
Well,
they
do
can
you
do?
know, Tobias, we really don't use a lot of donations. Our production, we laugh and people say you're a low budget production. And I'm like,
Mm.
we're a zero budget
Hmm.
production. Our productions cost about $150 to $200 per production. We film 12 to 15 of them per year.
Ooh.
Um, we have individuals who donate to us by PayPal, but we don't actually solicit donations.
Hmm.
We've got our sets are built. We have
Yeah.
plenty of costumes, and plenty
So,
of people donate. I had $44 in donations just the other day, and that will, believe it or not, cover the curtains that we need for the Klingon wedding. So
yeah,
see how it just
so
works that way.
that's, yeah, I searched the word. That's the problem with foreign language. I know what I want to say, but I don't find the word.
It's a problem everyone else wishes that they had.
Yeah.
And somebody said, "Well, you must be independently wealthy to do this." No, I am not. Neither is my wife.
Mm,
We still have 2 children that are living with us,
yeah.
and we're just here to have a good time. We do not have the greatest sets and the greatest costumes, and we don't have high quality super props. I mean, our props come off of eBay,
Yeah.
and
But
usually
it
they're broken.
works.
Yeah, and usually they're broken, but that doesn't matter. The phaser doesn't have to light up or anything
Yeah.
for us to use it.
That's right. Yeah, and I think if you have all the stuff, there are not that much costs. If you needed to buy all the stuff for every episode, it would be so much more money, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But our bridge set was built with donations and the labor of our cast and crew, and
Mm.
it's out there. It's fine. It's in we call it the boathouse. It's not really a boathouse. It's just We live on top of a mountain, and it's a
Mm.
long, skinny boathouse. We have no
Ah.
idea why it's on the top of the mountain, but
Hmm.
for heaven's sake, it holds our bridge, our transporter room, and our VIP lounge.
Not bad. A boathouse on a mountain.
I have no idea either.
Yeah.
It was when we saw the house. We moved here 2 years ago
Mm.
after my wife got a job working for a German chemical company here in
Oh.
Alabama, and we moved here. We chose this house. There were two other houses that had similar type structures, but this one being on top of the mountain, it was huge,
Ah.
and so it's a studio for us.
Yeah. A boathouse on a mountain. That's the studio. Something. Sometimes life is has its little humor.
It, it's
Yeah.
it's pretty funny to us. It rains here a lot too because
Ah.
we're on top of the mountain. We get the storms,
Mm.
so we have plenty of rain, and it's just perfectly fine.
Well, that
We have to
sounds
start
fun.
building an ark. We've got a head start.
Yeah. But you mentioned it before the Axana case is settled.
Yes,
Yeah. What do you
we're
think about
delighted.
this? Because
I,
in my opinion, it looks like really nobody won. Not CBS, not the Axana, and not the fans for me a little bit. It's such a. uh,
I tell you, I think the fans have won. If there's a
well.
winner, it would be the fans because it took a real burden off
Mm,
my mind and the minds of our other fan film
ah,
producers. Okay,
I see.
everyone's going to be reasonable now.
Yeah, I see. That's right. If the case would be really bad and Axana would lost, this could be much worse. That's right. Okay, there was.
Yes.
And yeah, some people also say that it's Oxana's fault that we have the guidelines now. Do you see it the same way or?
I suspect that if it had not been Axanar, it would have been another fan film
Mm,
that would have prompted this action. Um,
yeah,
we're and I will tell you, I am looking forward to Axanar.
me
Um,
too.
yeah, I am, and I hope that he resolves his issues with any of his fans that who donated, who think that they're
Mm,
going to get a full length feature because they're not now.
yeah, that could be cause some problems in the future, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't. I hope that
Mm,
everybody just backs off, and that's what I've said all along is that I'm not sure that Axanar would have lost in court. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
I don't know. But I don't know much about the American legal system, so yeah.
I well, Americans are deeply independent people, and you expect them to do this, and they'll do that, and
Ah.
you'll expect them not to do this, and they'll do this just to show you.
Oh,
And this is the sort of thing that can happen in a jury case.
oh yeah. Sounds a little bit like Spock and Kirk. There was this cartoon where Spock said, "Don't do the thing," and Kirk runs off, "I'm doing the thing."
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. Um, but Riker would tell Picard, "Don't do this," and
Mm,
Captain, I advise against this. And he says, "We're going to do this, number one," and he
yeah.
goes off and does it. So it's that's very common.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, I think that could have go this way, this way. That's
yeah. The guidelines themselves hurt the larger productions like
yeah.
Star Trek Continue, Star Trek Phase Two, which has now turned
Mm,
itself into a museum.
yeah,
It
or
hurts.
renegades would who said, "Okay, we don't
Yeah,
like the guidelines. We don't do Star Trek."
yeah,
Yeah.
and the funny thing about the guidelines, other than the use of the word series and episodes,
Mm,
um, it didn't affect us at all. Um, you've seen our productions; most of them are
mm,
under 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and so it didn't. They didn't hurt us at all.
yeah.
Um, one thing that was a little scary was they said you had to purchase official
Mm,
uniforms. Well, then they came off and said, "Well, you can make your own," and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Thank
that
goodness,
was in
because
the
I have
Engaged podcast.
seamstresses,
Yeah.
I have cosplayers and seamstresses who make our own
Mm,
costumes."
as far I'm
So
aware, it's because they don't want. I don't know the English word in German. We would say Trittbrettfahrer. So people who would make
the
merchandise and sell it but don't have a license. That's what
correct,
they don't want.
they want to protect the
Yeah.
licensees who are manufacturing
Mm,
uniforms.
and that can understandably.
Certainly understand that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have I had write some questions ago about the guidelines, but it seems like you yeah in one inning you say all of them, answer all of them.
Well, we're pretty, yeah,
Yeah,
we pretty much been with the guidelines before they were written.
yeah, that's helpfully definitely. But
um,
hmm,
with one exception
hmm,
here or there, um, they were filmed in 2014 and 2015, so those are a little longer.
yeah,
And I don't think Mr. Van Siders is going to worry about
yeah, I
what.
think in the Engage podcast he has said most of the time they wouldn't suit someone because of the guidelines, but you should not damage them too much.
Right. You're
Yeah.
basically they have the gun. You're giving them the ammunition, but they're
Mm,
not inclined to shoot you.
yeah.
So I can live with that.
Yeah, that's. But back to the, you could say, real big Star Trek. Discovery is coming this year. What do you
Yes.
think about Discovery from what we
Well,
know?
do you really want to know something?
Of course.
I am forcibly not doing anything as far as reading any information about it.
So that you can't be spoiled.
I did this with Star Trek Beyond
Mm.
and sat back and enjoyed a lovely movie.
Yeah,
And
that's a way. But,
and I didn't do this with Into Darkness,
mm,
and I drove myself crazy during it. And I decided, I had a lot better luck with what I did with Beyond. I'm
mm,
just going to see what they produce.
yeah.
And got Nicholas Meyer involved. I think that's an
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
brilliant choice. It's a brilliant
Oh,
choice.
yes, definitely. But I have one question that I think you could answer.
Okay.
Because as soon you do much Star Trek on your own. In your
Yes.
in your eyes, what's the most important thing about the Star Trek series? And do you think Star Trek Discovery can have it, deal it? I don't know how to say it in English.
I, with how many series are there? There's seven.
mm,
I've lost track. There's all these series.
oh
There's
yeah.
all these movies, the animateds, the books. There's such a huge responsibility being thrust upon the creators of the show. It
Mm,
must be this. It must be that.
oh
My
yeah.
answer is be themselves. They should be true to their own self. To thine
Yeah.
own self be true. They should be true to themselves. Entertain your audience. Tell an intelligent story.
Mm,
Don't pander to the lowest common denominator.
yeah.
And entertain us. And as long as it's like that, we'll have a good time. And we may argue about it and fuss about it and cry about it, but we also might applaud it and cheer for it and
Mm,
go, it's the greatest thing ever.
yeah.
We don't know. And I have a few friends who are sitting there telling me how bad it's going to be, and I'm like, knock it off. You're not
Yeah.
Nostradamus. You don't know what the future is.
This bad talking, that's I think a tradition in Star Trek. This began with the Next Generation. There are many fans who had said, "Oh, a new series without Kirk and all the stuff that can't work. That's And what's now?
I, and with Star Trek: The Next Generation, it grew on me.
Oh yeah,
Um,
me too.
I have certain episodes that I will not miss. Darmok. I
Oh,
will not
yeah.
miss Darmok. I must see it every time it's on.
Mm,
BBC, we have that here, and we love watching the BBC America channel because they're showing the original series with
mm.
new special effects. Which, by the way,
Oh,
I
yeah,
also
they are
thought I would
awesome, definitely.
I thought I would hate the new special effects,
Yeah,
and I'm sitting there going last night, I loved them.
yeah.
So I suggest that all fans just sit back, relax,
Mm.
have a cold one if you want, or a warm one if you're in, and wait and see. And
Yeah,
then if it's bad, we'll know it's bad, and if it's good, we'll all know it's pretty good.
yeah. I think that's a good stand to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because we are near the end, much of my audience came from this MMO, Star Trek Online.
Yes.
Do you know it or play it?
You know, I I am not a gamer.
Mm.
I I, I play Gears of War, and I haven't even gotten the new Gears of War 4. I just like Gears of War 2 and 3,
Mm.
and I play them a lot. Not online always. I have a son who will sit there and play with me, and a son-in-law who will sit there and play with me. So I'm not all that into online.
Mm.
I admire some of the visuals they've done, though.
Oh, yes.
I love the work that some of them have done. The story seems to be really good.
Mm.
I think it's an admirable work and a welcome addition to the Star Trek universe for sure.
Yeah, I think the same. The only problem I think is it's an MMO, so there's much repeating.
Well,
That's at the genre.
and that's true in Gears of War too. And you're just like,
Yeah,
oh no, you gotta, oh no, not that again.
yeah. So that are my questions. Any last words from you?
um, Potemkin Pictures is going strong. We're doing well. We
Mm.
would love to have your support. We would love to have your viewers. Um, we hope that everyone will go in with an open mind because we're the zero budget guys,
Yeah, and
and
it's
it
also
shows.
yeah, it's a good Star Trek, but it's like you said, zero budget.
It's zero budget,
Yeah,
but I think we do a fairly decent job with our
of
resources.
definitely.
I'm proud of the casts. Um, all of them do have their strengths. All of them have their weaknesses.
Mm.
Somebody told me the other day, I hate Captain So and So, but I love Captain So and So, and I'm like, well, then watch the one
Yeah,
you like.
doesn't cost anything.
Um, and we appreciate the feedback people have given
Mm.
us. We've had people who've helped develop the series from the very beginning. Um, that are Michael Zock, in fact, I believe, is in Germany, and he helped us
Mm.
design our bridge, our original Potemkin bridge, which was on a carport, a
Aw,
garage.
no.
Yes,
Aw.
22 and a half feet. It's literally half the size of the real studio
Oh
set.
no.
But it was 360 degrees, and you could literally walk around the whole set.
Well, that's
And
yeah.
yeah, the current set is 270 degrees, and um, one day if I strike it rich, then I'll add the extra 60 degrees
Mm.
or whatever, 90 degrees, so that we have a complete circle again.
Yep.
But we want people to enjoy it. Come out and see it. It's on YouTube. It's on Vimeo. Just look up Potemkin 1711 at either place, and they'll
Yeah.
take you to our videos.
And I will add the links all in the description, of course.
I appreciate that.
Of course. Yeah, and so I want to thank you for the opportunity.
Tobias, thank you for allowing us to be here with you this evening, and I hope that we can chat again sometime.
Yep.